Hello again. This is Finnabair from my studio in Galway. We are going to start our Facebook Live, and this time we are going to do the alteration of the rusty gear. The gear is really fun, and I hope you can see these techniques you can easily apply to other projects as well. And of course, it doesn't have to be this doesn't have to be this kind of surface. You can apply it on any thicker background, including well gessoed paper. So you can see the project we're going to work on. And maybe some of you, they were wondering what is the surface I was using. This is MDF, or some people call it HDF. So this thicker background. This one I got from company called Artistico. It's from Poland. You can see before altering, it looks like that. It's nice because it is quite thick, so great for mixed media, hard to break and easy to glue on. As you can see, I was cheating a little bit already. I started gluing things to speed up things a little bit. But instead of the HDF or the MDF panels, you can easily use the chipboards. You can use the different kind of thicker cardboards. You can do the same kind of project on the canvas. It's just a matter of your personal decisions. We are going to use the mediums from my Art Basics line. I'm going to use clear gesso, but you can replace this gesso with any other color because you literally won't see it. But clear one is very smooth and probably the easiest for me to apply. We are going to use rust paste. I picked the traditional set of 3 colors, rust effect paste. Here it is. We're going to use the Art Alchemy Metallique paint, and I picked silver spoon color because I wanted to imitate the look of the real metal, right? Then, and the next thing, we are going to use Art Alchemy wax. So I picked brushed iron color. So this one is going to be very similar to the paint. You can see I was trying to get a good match. For the finishing touches, I've got some micro beads, and this one is silver color and some copper color. And from other elements, I've got some embellishments to add, of course. Some pebbles, some stars. Of course, this is not the regular package of the stars. I just collect the leftovers in here. I even made the label. So I use my jars for this kind of extra storage. Mica Flakes, this color is going to be the golden flake, so the gold leaf color. And I also have a photo. So this time it's going to be this cute photo of the boys. So I think because the project is more masculine, that makes a lot of sense. So when it comes to gluing, I'm going to focus on 2 art mediums, my favorite heavy body gel for the heavier stuff. And we are going to use the soft gel. I have this one on my table, soft gloss gel, for the lighter stuff and the finishing touches. Okay, so that would be the selection of the art mediums. And of course, I'll be talking about things once I start creating. As you can see, photo is the last element that goes on the top. So you don't have to worry that it's going to be painted. And you can just prepare it in advance. So to make it nice and sturdy and durable, I just glued my photo on the piece of cardboard. So now it will be much easier to stick it on the top of the project without bending by accident. So we need to start with embellishments, of course. We need to get a selection of different elements. And for my project, I will show you my choices. I hope you can see them here, right? I have something which is the same material. It's similar to chipboard. It's HDF, so it's a bit thicker, right? I've got some mechanicals, which are metal embellishments. I've got some paper flowers for the next steps. I've got some smaller bits and pieces. And I had also some of the elements which I created in my molds. These are, they look like plastic. This is resin. This is 2-ingredient resin. And as you can see, I was cheating a little bit before. I started gluing things so we don't have to watch me too much when I'm just drying things, okay? So I've got 2 projects started. I will put this one here so it doesn't go on the way. I started with a basic composition. I have some group of embellishments and they're already glued down with the heavy body gel. This is what I've done so far. I took this gel, and this is the one which is super, super thick and it's dirty as well. And I've glued the biggest embellishments I want to have on my project already. So you can see it's super thick gel. It's great for holding heavy elements. Now, as you can see, everything stays in place easily. You don't have to worry about elements coming off once you will dry it completely. Of course, you can use your heat gun for this purpose. So I dried everything with heat gun. Now I can check where my photo is going to go. That the plan was to put it somewhere here. So I can see I still have some spaces for smaller embellishments on the top, on the bottom. However, I would prefer to keep most of the gear plain, so I can see like the natural look of the gear as well. Before we are going to add the other embellishments, I would love to add the color. The truth is, parts of the embellishments, they were added after the painting. I added this one and that one later because it's easier. The same for the paper flower. I'm going to paint them separately and add them. And add them later. So for now, I'm just going to add 2 colors. First color is going to be metallic paint in silver. That is imitation of this natural metal color, right? And the second will be combination of the rust base to create the rusty look in the middle. Okay, that sounds exciting. But before we're going to do anything else, it's important to add gesso. Gesso is going to turn everything matte. And this way, my paint and my rust base is going to stick better to the surface, like MDF or HDF, and to embellishments as well. It's going to be thin coat. You don't have to spend too much time doing it. As you can see, I'm just putting a thin coat with my brush, but that will turn everything matte and the paints will be easier to apply. They will cover better. The rust base is going to stick better and cover better. So this is very simple step, but it helps a lot. And if you are working on the surface that is suspicious, like for example, glass or metal or some kind of material you don't know too well and you don't know what is going to happen, it's always safer to apply gesso first. So as you can see, just a quick coat. And of course, before doing anything else, it's important to dry it. It doesn't have to be very smooth because in the next step, we are going to put a lot of texture on it anyway. Well, clear gesso is like the biggest hit we've created so far. I'm so proud I convinced Prima to make this product because it has such a huge potential. Now I have to dry it, so a moment of waiting, but it dries quickly. Let's say it is dry. Most of the places you can see gesso simply disappeared, but those of you who used this kind of base before, you will see it turned matte. You can see it's a little bit glossy here, but it's completely flat matte at that side. So now I can take my paint and I can add the coat of the metallic. And just after that, we can start working on the rusty effect. I need to put the rust on my elements I want to add as well. So I have to remember to paint them. It's important. But let's start here. You can see, although metallic paints are generally more glazy, they are quite shiny, but they can be a little bit transparent as well. When you apply the gesso, they cover so much better. So instead of putting multiple layers directly on the surface, it's just better idea to start with the gesso. You don't have to paint everything because in the middle we are going to have rust and the photo. So I'm just going to focus on the outsides of the project. I'm just checking. What do you think about this vertical orientation? Is it better or is it the same, or you have problems with this kind of orientation? You have to let me know because we are experimenting today. Like for me, I can see better what I'm doing on the screen, but you know, it's also important feedback from you. Almost there. Almost there. Well, it doesn't have to be super perfect because we are going to make it dirty in the next step anyway. So just, you know, to let you know. And of course, after painting, it's good to dry it quickly as well. That should be enough. Uh-oh. Can you see it? It was my finger here. That was not the best. And the paint I was using, it was acrylic paint for Art Alchemy collection called Silver Spoon. This is Metallique collection, and the label is gone because it had a small accident. This is one of the first paints that I released from that collection. So this is quite old, but this is stunning silver color. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm glad you like it. So let's dry it again. And then we can continue with the rust paste. So you can see you don't have to paint too much. It's going to be nice anyway. The best fun is going to start once we start applying the rust paste. So now you can see we've got quite good layer of paint, but here I think I was touching that a little bit too much. So I have to repaint. This is not a big deal, just a tiny bit of paint in some places. You know, this is rusty gear, so one more layer of paint is just more texture. So, and now, in the middle of the project, we are going to apply the rust paste. I'm going to do it on the mat because it's a super dirty step. Just in case if you're wondering, these were also like the chipboard or MDF elements I used for the date. So I can't really tell this is the right year. I'm pretty sure this is not the right year looking at the photo, but you know, you can't have everything right. So now we are going to do it in 2 steps. I've got the set of the rust paste. It's rust paste in the original color combination. So there is red rust, brown rust, and gold rust. And when I open the jars, I of course check if the paste is liquid enough, because as you know, maybe some of you tried it already, this is fast drying product. So if you're going to leave it open for too long, or you are going to stop using it for some longer time, it will start to thicken and it's going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. So now it's important to see, oh, okay, it's nice and liquid. But if it's not, remember you need to take care of it. So one of the ideas is to put just simply some water in it, some water, and before closing, and stir it in and spray just, you know, like this, right? And then close properly, and then it's going to last for longer. The other option is, if you don't want to add water, you can use, for example, this art medium. This is called liquid color fluid medium, which is basically the base of the paint, base of the acrylic paint, which is going to extend the working time of the paint. You can use it with impastos, you can use it with sparks, metallics, but also with the rust paste. And it's going to be good for diluting, right? Great for diluting. So if you feel that your paste are getting thicker, add some in. This is the same family of product, and you can mix it in easily. It's going to keep your product fresh. Just closing it and hoping for the best, it's not the best solution here. This is just too fast drying product. So if you want to extend the life of it, that is the best thing to do. So we are going to dab the colors wherever we would like to have our rust, and that means mostly in the middle. And I'm applying that very carelessly with the dabbing brush, right? So you can just use any old brush, because this is textured paste, and it's going to go deeply in the bristle, right? It's just going to go deep. The sand may damage your brush a little bit, so it's better to pick the old one instead of your favorite beautiful brush. I'm just dabbing. It is not really a sophisticated technique, but as you can see, I am putting a bit of brown and a bit of red rust together to create more natural look. Okay, so this is step number 1. I'm covering almost everything. It is not dry yet, but it will start drying soon. So if I want to get good coverage, it's better to start now. And yellow. Yeah, we can do yellow. Why not? Yellow was for the next step, but okay. And if you want to get more natural looking effects, now here's the tip. You should have your water spray ready. Okay. And now that means you can start to create the natural rust looking effect right now. So the water is going to create more natural feeling to everything here. You can even rub it with your finger a little bit. So this is going to run a little bit. You can see what I'm doing, right? So we're making that a little bit more wet. If you are more adventurous at this step, you can even let it drip, move it to the sides. And after this step, it's important to dry it so it will get completely permanent. So if you want to add more touches to it, you will be able to work on the permanent surface. This dries quite quickly, but it's important to notice that this is not the final color. It's going to get darker as well. It's going to get matte. So it will look exactly as the finish you can see here. It's imitation of the rust. This is acrylic based product, and the effect you're getting here is going to look natural only after drying. I know it's quite disappointing at the moment, but it's going to be better after that. This is just one layer, but you don't really have to stop here. You can use many layers of the rust paste. You can see it's really turning into like the rusty piece already. Now, we are going to add these elements that we want to add in the composition, and then I'm going to add some finishing rusty touches. So I have some extra embellishments here. I've got some... I know what I'm going to do. I will make the surface more presentable because it's hard to work on this dirty mud. So please forgive me for a moment. Oops. Now, Now we can add the elements we would like to use. So I told you I wanted to use some of the metallic flowers. I have some more of the embellishments. Here are some lovely finishing touches. So maybe let's start with gluing. I'm taking the heavy body gel and I will stick the elements in the places I want them to stay. So the flower will stay here. It's going to be partly hidden under my photo. I have this nice element. I'm going to stick somewhere here. It's like, you know, it's adding more details to the whole composition. You can add some of the bolts. It's more steampunky in style. And because it's metallic already, you don't really have to paint it so much later. I'm just going to make it a little bit dirty with the rust paste so it looks more natural. And then for the good measure, maybe a bit of these ones here. Rust paste is working on any gesso. Then you don't have to think about the color. If you're going to cover completely, you can't tell if I used white gesso or black gesso or clear gesso. Gesso is just the primer. And you can think about rust paste as a kind of paint, in fact. So you can put it on any surface that is already matte and ready to put new coats on the top. And there was a question about the cleaning of the brush. You can clean it with water, yes, but make sure you will do it before it's going to dry. So soon I will have to move on and add more paste. That's why I'm not cleaning that yet. But if I was working on bigger project, it will be already in my water because I don't want this to be completely dry. So I'm adding the details, as you can see. And it's good to measure with your photo to see how much you are going to see, really. Okay, this flower is going to move a little bit that way. Yes, it was a bit destructive, I know. Okay, that's awesome. So this cog needs to stay in here. I need to stick it more or less like this. And this gel will get transparent after drying, so you don't have to worry that you can see things now. Okay, I can see the plan. Right. So we've got elements going into places. I've got some other elements I can use, like this little cog will be very cute in here. You can think about little stars. You can use some very cool gears, especially the smaller ones will be great now for adding the finishing touches. There are really nice little screw heads as well. You know, they're all great for this kind of more masculine projects. Okay. Oh. Have you got any questions for this part of the process? Is there anything that you are thinking maybe I should mention? Because I'm gluing elements down. This is not so entertaining, so this is a great moment to ask questions. No, this is not right. I will look for the sum of the stars. Stars go great on the masculine projects as well. So I will find some spaces for them. As you can see, I'm adding rather small elements, so I don't really have to gesso them, especially they're metallic already. If they were more crazy coloring, I would probably gesso them just in case. Also, I'm not hiding the gel that much because the rust paste is going to cover that part of imperfections you are not going to see. How about a star here, and maybe 2 or 3 smaller ones, and this is ready. Before adding anything, it's good to dry it again, because now the gel is very wet, and if you start spraying water, it may start to come off. So it's good advice, if you are not sure what you are doing, it's always better to dry the project in between, so you will be protecting your surfaces. You're going to have better results without risk. Okay, that should be enough, I think. So that one is ready. So now quick drying, and I can work on the final coloring with the rust, and then some finishing touches. Almost there. Let's say it is dry. I'm not going to wait forever. And now, look at this brush. This is very special kind of brush. It's almost dead. It's going to be perfect for application of the rust paste for the last steps. This is just because, you know, I told you the brushes may not be in the best shape after application. So I'm just going to use this brush and a bit of water to get the results. And when I'm applying, look, it's just really quickly, one after another. I'm not waiting too long because I want the results to look natural, and because it's fast drying product. So now, just with the dirty brush, basically, I'm adding details to the project, touching these clean embellishments, adding some color in the places I think the color may be missing. Now I started using this yellow one. They are not really beautiful colors in the jars. It looks like mustard, but after application, it's the most beautiful gold rust you can imagine. You have to believe me, because now you can't see it, but take my word, okay? Later you're going to see. Yes, this mat from IKEA, they are great, but they are not for crafting. They are just for covering your table. So if you want to keep it nice, you can't use the heat gun on it. That's very good point. Yeah. So we have it all ready, basically. I'm just checking if I didn't, maybe I missed some spot, but I don't think so. Okay, now I can close the jars and start drying again before the final touches. Okay, it's very rusty now. We can start adding the finishing touches. Again, just to check where the photo is going to go, the plan is like this. So our poor flower is going to be very smushed. Okay, right? Something like this. Now, I've caught a lot of rust, but I would love to highlight this metallic look a little bit. This can be done 2 ways. You can use the same metallic paint and dry brush it in some places. So you can come back to metallic silver spoon color or any other similar that you may have. And this is going to be an easy solution. The second one, probably easier for people who like the wax. You can get that done very quickly and very easily just by touching some places with the waxes. Waxes are permanent after drying. And remember, they are more like finishing touch product. So I would not wax my cog and start with the embellishments and everything, because they may simply come off. This is resisting product. This is not really good as a starting product. Remember, when you're using waxes, They are mostly for finishing. Okay. So now I'm using the wax in the color which is called brushed iron. Brushed iron. I should not pronounce the R, but I keep forgetting. And now I'm just going to touch some of the details so they look like this rust is not taking over completely. You know what I mean? Just to highlight some of the cool places. Maybe a little bit on the number. Right? Somewhere on the embellishments. And of course, I recommend drying everything completely before you start this, so you don't have to worry something will be coming off. But this is Facebook Live and we try to fit in more or less 1 hour with the project. That's why I have to speed up some of the things. At home, I would let it dry a little bit longer. I would be more sure, like I will be quite confident nothing is coming off. So just to show you the details now. Okay. Can you, sorry, my phone started to move. So can you see the whole purpose of that? It's getting more dimensional, and it's a really nice touch if you feel that you have too much of the rust. And with this way of application, when you add water, you may sometimes go a little bit too far. Now it's the time to bring it back into the right balance. So I'm just adding a little bit of that wherever I feel I would love to have the color. Okay. So yes, you don't have to use your hand as a palette, of course. This is my way because I don't like to have too much of the wax on my finger. I just want to add the delicate touches. And yeah, you can use paper towel or your mat or anything else. This is probably the better way of doing it, okay? So we are on this stage and we need to go to this. It's not far. It's just the difference in the finishing touches. So the first thing is you can use some kind of transparent medium. And the best for me for this step is going to be the soft gel because it is liquid and I can easily apply it with the brush. I just have to find a brush which is not completely dead. Or maybe this one, right? This is completely transparent after drying and a little bit glossy. Yeah. So I'm going to apply it in some places. It's going to turn transparent, so don't worry. And I was thinking to add some finishing touches with mica flakes, micro beads. So they are going to add a little bit of the shiny grunginess, if there is a word like that. You know, if it doesn't really exist now, it's going to be the new definition of the technique, shiny grunginess. And I'm trying to put it in the places where really you can see something, because I know the photo will take quite a lot of space. Okay, and mica flakes, they are the bigger ingredient, so they will go first, so they have a chance to stick. I love how they work with rust base, to be honest. They are a complementary thing. And you can see my super precise way of application. Okay, whatever wants to stick, it will stick. This is my way of thinking. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a tiny bit more of the gel, so they have a chance to stay in places a little bit better. And I'm pushing it into the gel. Remember, this is a glossy version of the soft gel, so it's not going to kill the shine of the mica. This is one of the important things. So it is not going to be making it's not going to be flat after that, because sometimes if you use the matte gel, the shine may go away. So I prefer to use the soft one in the glossy finish for this kind of step. And then this is what we've got. And now on the top of that, a tiny bit of micro beads that will go inside of these spaces as well. I also use the silver one because it's going to go nicely with the silver color of the cog. So I know that is going to highlight some of the details a little bit more. I know I keep using soft gel, and you think maybe you can just use the glue instead. Of course you can, but remember, make sure the glue is going to be very, very sticky and it's going to dry transparent, okay? Because we don't want to see the lumps of glue after. Let me tap off the excess. So this is what we've got so far. And I will just use one of my brushes to arrange the beads a little bit. Some of them are going to stay better in places. You know, not everything has to stay. This one is cool. I like it. Maybe a little bit more of the detail here. Sometimes you just have too much, so you can remove it before it's too late. Oh, like this one. Perfect. Now, quick drying. Let's place the photo in to see the final result. And of course, it's empty space here, so it will be good to use something to support it. For example, 3D foam or anything else that you like for gluing your photos in. This is the one that I got years ago from Scrapbook Adhesives, and this is the one which is not melting with the heat gun. That's why I keep using it in my projects, because it is safe. So I'm just going to use it for gluing the photo. On one side I'm making double layer because this is a little bit lower. Okay, I think this is almost ready. And for the final one, I will just show you the difference. For the final touch, here on this photo, I also added a quote. If you will have a closer look, you can see I used the same 3D foam. And this is holding the one of the sentences from the sticker pad, like this. This is from sentiments set I made for our daily. So you can, of course, make it a little bit dirty so it looks like it is real rust on the top, and then add it to your photo. I intentionally picked the photo in the sepia tone so it works better with the rust. But of course, if you don't have it, you can try to experiment with some text and play with adding some splatters on the top. So now just quick recap, okay? I will just let you know what we were doing in the first step. So we started with gluing the elements with heavy body gel. This was the first layer. And after that, I was using clear gesso. Clear gesso was to add the matte finish on the top of everything and prime. Next, I was using Metallique paint. This is the paint I was using. Sorry, it doesn't want to focus. Silver spoon color. Yes, so this is the one that is the color I've used for the outsides of the composition everywhere around. After drying, we were applying the rust paste. I used the original set with the 3 colors in. So the brown rust, yellow rust, and the red rust, and I was giving some tips how to keep it fresh forever. So please add after every use, just a reminder, add some water here and make sure you clean that part with the baby wipe or whatever you are using, right? This part, because there's always some sand. Close it tightly, put it upside down. If you are living in a super dry and hot area, you can even put it in the Ziploc bag. That is also helping. The great solution is adding some kind of extension, some kind of medium that is going to extend the working time. For example, liquid color, fluid medium I made for liquid acrylics. You can use it with any of my paints to make them thinner, as well as with the rust paste. Or you can use any other brand, or just even water will help, right? And then we were drying everything. We were adding missing elements. We were applying the second layer of the rust paste, using, of course, a lot of water to make it run. We dried it, and we used micro beads together with the soft gel and mica flakes for the finishing touches of the project. The extra highlights were done with the Metallique wax. That is the whole story. So I hope you can see this look is very simple to get. You can do it on any surface as long as it's going to be matte and nicely finished. I used a selection of different embellishments. Of course, you can use any embellishment, including paper flowers. I just repainted them metallic. And what is really important is to make sure that everything is dry before you go to the next step, because this way it's going to be much easier and safer to go from one step to another. So I hope you're going to try it. You can do it on the canvas, on the wood, on the metal, or on any surface really. And I think it's quite fun, more masculine side of mixed media. So now, if you have any questions, please make sure you are going to leave the comment. I'm going to record this video and it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel as well, so you can come back to it. If you want to share that with your friends, you can send the link to the Facebook page directly to this video, so they can watch it later. Just in case if you are new and you don't know what is going on, my name is Finnabair. I'm the brand creator for Prima Marketing. I'm responsible for all these products, and you can find me on my Instagram, which is at Finnabair or Finnabair Studio. You can find me on YouTube, and you can find me on Facebook page. Please visit website finnabair.com. You can see tutorials twice a week. And don't forget to visit beautiful Prima Marketing blog, where you can see amazing projects from various designers. My design team is just changing now, so we are starting in October with the brand new group of people, and I hope you will love them as much as I love them. Let me tell you, let me give you my goodbyes. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for being with me here. It's just great to see you all. And if you have any questions on this project, remember, I will try to answer a little bit later. If you can share it with your friends, that will be lovely, so more people will be able to try this kind of techniques. And there was a question about this panel. This is HDF panel, and I got it from Polish brand Artistico. But it doesn't have to be exactly the same element to get great results. I'm sure you can be creative and find something to alter. Just use your imagination. And my table. This is a disaster, but this is how I work. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you had a great creative time. If you are looking for more inspiration, please remember to visit the website. Don't forget to visit the YouTube channel. I've got some uploads now. It's more like talking about design teams and how to get on the design team, what not to do, what to do. And this is a lot of talking. So it was really challenging. And at the same time, I'm keeping you updated on my Instagram and or my Facebook. Thank you guys for being here and being such a great audience. And I'm absolutely happy to be here with you. And I promise to prepare a new Facebook Live for the next month as well. So stay tuned. It will be coming soon. It was Finnabair from my studio, and I'm here with Prima Marketing to provide you inspiration during the Facebook Live show.